after the first coup, which finally made some of these guys to believe that they must do everything within their power to get rid of the Igbos from their region, because back then, right, everyone in their region doing what they believe was best for them. So the fight then was like, leave our place, and attack, So when Ironsi stopped the revolution that they later called the Igbo coup, Ironsi, the guy who was supposed to just drive out of Lagos and just go elsewhere, so that the likes of Kaduna, Ezeogu, Adekunle, what's this guy's name again? Anyway, they would have had their revolution. And maybe Nigeria won't be what it is now. It probably will be a different Nigeria. I don't know. But Ironsi mobilized his boys, stopped the coup. But it was too late. They've already killed the premier, as well as the prime minister. You understand? Then he went on to make further mistakes, a grave generational mistake, by announcing a unitary sort of a system of government, unification decree or something. Today, historically, those who are historically gullible, they will say it was an Igbo man that removed regional system of government. And I know some of you here probably repeat that, forgetting the fact that 6 months later, Yakubu Golos, Muritala and Co., that staged their own retaliatory coup, right? Killed Ironsi, dissolved his National Supreme Military Council, abrogated his unification decree, and then put in place their own process of breaking Nigeria apart, enforcing what they call the unitary system of government on Nigeria in a different scale. And that was what gave birth to creating states, the idea of cutting people away from their people, putting them as minority in places where they are still on their land, but they believe that over time maybe they will get chased or get killed, and they will shrink the number of the Igbos. It's true. But all of that was like, all of that was supposed, were preventable, so to say. But since those who felt like the Igbos shouldn't be part of Nigeria, and then after the war, the genocidal war, they are proclaiming one Nigeria. They said no winner, no vanquish. So everyone who committed, who committed the war crimes, they were rewarded with government positions, while the marginalization, the persecution, right, that led to that civil war continued, this time as a Cold War. So to me, I'm like, they don't probably want this contraption to work. Because if they wanted Nigeria to work, you see that moment they said, you know what, we need to heal. What led to the Eastern government asking the Igbos to return back to the East? What led to the Aburi Accord and Aburi conversation? Then what started the war when they fired the first mortar from the hill of Benue into the heartland of Igbo land, and then the war started. But the same characters are already telling you that it was Ojukwu that started the war. It was the Igbos that, you know what I mean? So, for me, they never wanted Nigeria to work. If they wanted Nigeria to work like Rwanda, right, it would be a total healing. Meaning, first you acknowledge those who lost their lives and how. And then you see those who are responsible during that time, you punish all of them enough that you set precedents enough that this must never happen again. And everybody must be treated equally. Unfortunately, no, it continued as a Cold War. And today is the 55th year remembrance when the Biafran surrendered to save the lives of the civilians who were supposed in what is called the rule of engagements, right? They were supposed to be protected. But these murderous Fulani, Hausa, and their colleagues, even Yorubas, who gathered together to want to incinerate them, they didn't see them as Nigerians. They saw them as enemies and they must be extinguished. They didn't treat them. They didn't treat the civilians who were not carrying any guns, or who were pretty much like, as it happened, right? They had no choice. They can't leave and run away to elsewhere. But rather, surviving that time just mean like to them, to these guys, it's like extending the suffering. But the Igbos won't forget. And every 30th of May, every year, they gather all over the world to remember their lost ones or their loved ones who were martyred for that needless genocidal war. In London today, Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu's son, right, read one of the epitaph for in remembrance of the Biafran hero. I'll start with that from London.
We remember the victims of terror and tragedy. We remember the millions of defenseless women, men and children bound to the markets, strapped to their death in schools and hospitals by Soviet MiGs and piloted by Egyptians. We remember Warrant Officer 1, Elijah Anosike, Staff Sergeant Ewo Ejiogo, Warrant Officer 2, Ndarake Uya, Staff Sergeant Davidson Njoku, Staff Sergeant Sylvanus Ezeku, Sergeant Evan Jim Udo, Corporal Price DK, Corporal Michael Akudike, Corporal Johnson Ago, Lance Corporal Gabriel Okezi, Sergeant Mbanefo Lawrence Ofurun, Sergeant John Ukeje, Sergeant Major Albert Ogumba, Sergeant Hyacinth Obaji, Sergeant Emmanuel Ochi,
remember,
Sergeant Peter Ejimako, Sergeant Nana Otumetre, Sergeant Morris Abeli, Sergeant Peter Ndubisi, Sergeant Obed Adenu. Using a lighted candle. We remember the victims.
Listen. There were others. There was also a moment of solemnization. That moment of, spiritual kind of awakening, when it seemed like you have summoned the spirit of your ancestors to come into your midst and remind them that the struggle they died for, that those of you who survived them, you have not given up. And your own children will not give up until the day you see yourself in that home, your land, Biafra. That moment was also captured in London today.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I want to talk.
Those who took the mantle of leadership in Biafra land have turned against your faithful children.
It'll be like say with the rule. I told you it is sort of like spiritual too. And how was it back in Biafra land today? The same thing. It is reported that they had, a total or near total compliance with the sit at home today, the voluntary sit at home for those who want to. And it's always been something that people have been doing, voluntarily without anybody having to threaten them or anything. So I'm going to take you through some of the series of videos that made it to the social media today in celebration of the Biafra Remembrance Day, or you can say Biafra Heroes Day. 55 years after the white flag was raised today in Biafra land. It also gives you an opportunity to see through some of the cities too, right? You get to see the areas, you get to see Imo, Abia, Anambra, and a few other places. Sometimes I would advise you to ignore some of the commentary, right? Because some of them were just making their own amateur videos, right? But here is the tour of Biafra land. Some part of it today. It is a long watch, by the way, so you may probably go make yourself another coffee or a cup of tea, then come back and continue to watch. Yeah.
As you can see, we are live at Umweka Junction, one of the ever busiest junction in the United States. As you can see, this is the military checkpoint. As you can see, even everybody sitting at home, even the military, including the Nigerian operatives, the naval operatives. This is the military. You can see, everyone is sitting at home. This is the camp. You can see. Everywhere, no vehicular movements. Everybody is observing it at home. Today being the 19th of May, 2025. This is Mazi and reporting live for Muchibu Writers. This is Abakaleki Afipo Road, Laodime Town. As you can see, they sit at home. People did as much as they can to comply.
Greetings to my people. I must say, today I'm wishing all of us a nice celebration of today's event. Happy Heroes Day. This is an excellent one. This is a very busy road. It's actually a one-lane road, meaning that whoever that is coming into this place and whoever that is coming out of this place must have to take this route, because I think that's the only road. That's the only entrance into this very place. It's very quiet and people are observing the day's event. I mean, today's date is 30th May 2025, and Biafrans are celebrating our heroes who died in the war, and those of IPOB members who are still fighting to restore Biafra under Nnamdi Kanu. I'm going to show you on the road. This road here connects to 33. And it's a very, very busy road. When I say it's a very busy road, it connects to so many places, including GROA. And I think P2P lives in GROA, and this is an army checkpoint. They too are not around. They too are observing the day's event. Today's sit at home. This connects to 33, and whoever is very familiar with 33 knows that this road is the only road that connects to 33. There is no flyover, there is no underneath bridge, there is no other routes that connects to 33 except this road. If you're entering 33, you must have to take this road. So we always know that this road is always jam-packed by traffic. But look at today.
Biafra Heroes Day May 30th, and this is exactly how the capital city of Imo State, Owerri, is. This is Owerri, Imo State, obeying the Biafra Heroes Day, respecting the dead and those who fell and sacrificed their lives for the restoration and the continuity of Igbo race. So today, May 30th, the roads are so scanty, no people, no persons, nobody is found on the road except those on very crucial assignments. So
you can see today, 30th May 2025, this is Owerri. There is total compliance. Today's Biafran Heroes Day Remembrance. You can see there is a total, the road is scanty. In fact, there is a total scant. And this is the National Library. This is Imo State Secretariat, State Secretariat. You can see it. There is also total compliance. You can see it. So you can see it's also dry. So everywhere is locked and key. This is Imo State Secretariat. So there is a total observation. See, this is Imo State House of Assembly complex. Total observation as well. So the government should stop deceiving people while they also send a signal of compliance. This is Imo State State Assembly complex. If you know Tetlo is the IT center of Owerri, Tetlo Road. You can see young men are playing ball on the road. This place used to be a very high traffic area. You know, that is what it is. This is Tetlo Road, 30th May 2025, and there's a total compliance. If you know Tetlo Road, you can't pass here by this time because of the rate of traffic. Tetlo Road, Owerri, is an IT center in Imo State, and you can see the level of compliance that young men are playing ball today. There's total compliance. I mean total compliance, absolute total compliance. And Owerri is calm. You must understand that. Owerri is peaceful. So this is Tetlo, and we go to this is Okigwe Road, one of also most crowded and busy place in Imo State. And you can see this place is a very difficult terrain to pass because of traffic, commercial activities that this place is known for, and there is also total compliance. There is a total compliance. Businesses are closed for today's Heroes Day Remembrance. So this is Douglas.